I'll say this for J. Michael Straczynski. He's got the structure of a story pretty well down. So he's got an origin, a pre-origin Steve Rogers literally going against Nazis, combined with a big modern day thing that's actually converging kind of as a similar thing at the same time. And the two storylines are kind of reaching their climax in a structure that's very well done. So it shows professionalism on that end. Now, Captain America has been disappointing so far. Of course, a literal Nazi sort of thing that just built up without very much, sort of, I'd say suspense or drama is something that's a little rough, in 2024 to have another plot just like that. But here we are. And so in this issue, there are two events going on. There's like a peace rally about to go on in the normal timeline. And we've got Captain America's talking to like a doll that is like, a visage of Doctor Strange being projected, along with, Sharon Carter. And they are talking about the demon he faced last issue. And with this, they're like, hey, you can't do anything. You're just a physical fighter. You're not equipped to face demons, right? And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, just kind of like stall for time until I can get back because I'm kind of busy right now. And it kind of shows how he's busy. Now, the problem I have in a lot of these dialogue scenes with these, there's a lot of talking like it's a TV show rather than a comic book. And JMS kind of tends to do this quite a bit. And he has like the quirky, like going back and forth dialogue, like sort of stuff, which really, like, I liked it in his Amazing Spider-Man run because that felt like Peter Parker. It doesn't feel like Steve Rogers. It doesn't have that gravitas. He sounds like Peter Parker as he's talking throughout this entire issue. And so kind of like a lack of characterization is what I say in the course of this. Now, they are talking about how to deal with this anyway. The peace conference is going to get attacked, and they know it. And he goes back in time to where he's dealing with the, quote, literal Nazis. And in that, the literal Nazis are going to blow up the literal Nazi rally where they're all gathering in Madison Square Garden in order to get sympathy so that people will join the Nazi movement. Interesting, him presenting a false flag operation in a thing like this, especially as JMS has written the 9/11 commemorative issue for Spider-Man, where they were like, as a New Yorker, everybody's together now, rather than, going into the fact that was likely a false flag operation. Oh, don't cancel me. But very funny stuff in retrospect. But here it is. He's got a decent scene of old Steve Rogers on the run from, some familiar Nazi faces as he's narking on this big event about to happen to try to stop that bomb from going off. Meanwhile, he enters into the peace rally knowing that there's something bad going on, and the demon literally confronts him and pauses, and they kind of are parallels starting the fight, which is going to probably conclude next issue. So this is a middle issue sort of thing. JMS does that like writing for, 6-issue arcs for a trade paperback, and it feels like it. I would honestly, probably this worked way better if you just wait for the trade paperback and do that in this instance. But I wanted to check out JMS's run as he's returning to Marvel Comics after a while here. The art's fine. As you can see, it's just like pretty standard Marvel fare. Obvious like kind of use of like general 3D assets and the usual sort of things that you get out of Marvel Comics these days. So nothing interesting, nothing like particularly problematic or interesting about that. Just kind of standard. I'd say it's your average. I do like this cover with like the perspective shot with the bullets traveling at young Steve Rogers. That's pretty neat. It is a kind of just different looking cover, which I find kind of cool. But overall, this issue was fine. I didn't really enjoy the first 4 issues so much as they built it up. I'm just like, gosh, this is a slog to get through. But finally, it's building up towards something. It's a decompressed thing, so this probably could have been done in 3 or 4 issues and worked pretty well. But it is like a middle issue also. So if you didn't read those issues, this issue is just not going to work. So it is what it is. So overall, it's readable and it's all right. And it's, fine. And that's about my emotional response to it. So I call it a 7 out of 10 overall for Captain America #5. Getting a little better after the first 4 issues. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below with what you think, and we'll be back soon.